Hey everybody, Bonehead for the Bonehead podcast, and I don't normally bother when they reveal a model that we already know is coming, or we already know the rules there for, but I was about to film the monthly meta for tomorrow anyway, so I thought I'd jump on and just talk about Bilerot Vomitflesh. New star player that landed in the Almanac is an old star player that's been brought back. We've seen the rules already, but now we have a model for him. So I thought we'd have a quick look at the article, and then we are actually going to talk about Bile Rot and his rules and why you'd want to use him on the pitch. So over on the Warhammer community site, it's gone down now, like way down. Although this is quite cool, the battle for Ogrim. We'll probably talk about this on the podcast because we're recording this weekend. They're doing like a worldwide campaign again. So if you're an old school Warhammer battle guy like me, you'll remember like Dark Shadows where they went to Albion and stuff. And that's just the dream. So I like that they're doing a global battle. And I think we're probably going to have to talk about what that would look like for Blood Bowl. Because, I don't know, there's just something really cool about like logging your results and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're not here to talk about 40k. Not yet, anyway. Let's give this article a click here. So meet the star player who clears the pitch with fouls and foulness alike. Gotta say, like the way that's written, kind of gives a little bit of a hint as to the rules of this gentleman. So this is the model here. The world of Blood Bowl is one where skilled players get to live in the lap of luxury. Some of these players take this invitation to party and rub shoulders with the rich and famous, letting their insatiable appetite ruin them entirely. Thankfully, certain dark deities have delicious gifts to offer those who fall from grace. Now, top comment that I've seen so far is that this guy is the star player and that he's on the shoulder of somebody else. So, I mean, it's not quite Acorn, but it's kind of like a Nurgle Acorn. I like that. So this is our first look at Bile Rot. So we saw the artwork in the Almanac and we've seen the rules already. I think this is the last. Oh my, this is the last star player model that we're waiting for. At all. Is that right? We've got Grashnak, we've got Ripper now, the Goblin Boys are here, we've seen old Tentacle Man, and now we've got the guy from Austin Powers, which I'm not going to say the name of because I don't want to have to edit the video. Right, so we've got this big chunky boy of a Nurgle guy. Now this is a Nurgle bloater, but basically in star player format. So let's talk about the model. He's very Nurgly. I'm a huge fan of the big shoulder bit, the big armor piece behind the neck. So they don't seem to wear them anymore in the NFL, but like old school fullbacks, I'm saying old school, like 10, 15 years ago, old school fullbacks in American football got the big, you know, the pads, and they've got this neck pad that just keeps their head from, you know, falling off. So I love that he's got that. It just absolutely adds a bunch of chunk. There's some cool little details like the little Nurgle teeth on there, and the fact that his insides are just falling out, which is apparently okay if you're a Nurgle player. I would seek medical attention. So before attracting the attention of Nurgle, Bile Rot Vomitflesh was a young player and named Wilhelm von Mitfleisch, on track to a sizzling career in Blood Bowl. As he gorged himself at parties and feasts, Wilhelm's skill and athleticism waned, and he traded textbook plays for wretched fouls. Eventually, his flagrant disregard for his health led him to contracting all sorts of parasites and diseases, which he passed on to his unwitting teammates. Predictably, they kicked him out, and the noisome funk that followed him around made him an impossible hire. Thankfully, the Disease Destroyers, a team favoured by Nurgle, took a punt on this bilious brute. Might be bilious. So, the art and the model line up beautifully, and I wonder if they got the, he's got a little bit more colour. The orange patch with the white star isn't carried over on the model. So a couple of bits of the rules here. After a run of glorious victories, many of which involved Bile Rot vomiting corrosive bile over a key opponent, the squalid star decided to make a go of it as a fowler for hire. Costing 180,000 gold pieces for any favoured of Nurgle team, Bile Rot Vomitflesh is a dirty player +1, and thanks to his smell, a bit of a loner 4+. Bless me, it's Nurgle. Well, it's trees more than Nurgle. Once per game, his putrid regurgitation lets him use the projectile vomit special action and shower an opposing player with a salvo of searing spew, even if he's already performed a block action that turn. So this is his once per game ability. Some of them are game, some of them are half, some of them are, 20 minutes. Once per game, he gets to use that troll ability, the vomit thing. So he can punch a dude and then chunder on them, which gives you another opportunity to break some armor. So that's actually a pretty cool combo. In fact, we will switch screens and go to his full rules. Okay, so Bile Rot is favoured of Nurgle only. So you are looking at basically Nurgle teams and I guess Chaos Chosen, Chaos Pact that choose favoured of Nurgle, I guess. I mean, Chaos Dwarves, maybe? Could sneak that in? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of teams that would want to run Bilerot Vomitflesh. So, 180k, you get a Movement 4, Strength 5, Edge 4+, Passing 6+, Armor 10+. Blocker is just a Nurgle blocker. In fact, you know what? What we need to do here is get this centered on the screen so we can see all of the goodies for Bile Rot. There we go. That's much better. So, Favourite of Nurgle, Movement 4, Strength 5. So he's the same speed as a bloater, but extra strength. Edge is the same. Passing is negligible. Armored value 10+ is good. So strength 5, armor 10. He's an ogre. He's a slow ogre, basically. So 180k, we've got the Putrid Regeneration Rule, which we know allows him to just take a chunder once per turn after he's blocked a guy or before he's blocked a guy, which is pretty good. So skills, Dirty Player +1, Disturbing Presence, Foul Appearance, and Loner. No regen, which can be useful even on a star player. I mean, I know regen is kind of there to keep your players from dying forever, but actually it's not so bad. Dirty Player +1, Disturbing Presence, Foul Appearance, and Loner. So it's a lovely model, and 180k is not a bad price for a Strength 5 hitter. There's no combat skill. There's no removal skill. It's Foul Appearance, Disturbing Presence is okay, so he's all right to pick up as an extra blocker if you're down a blocker. The difficulty is when it comes to Chaos. What are you looking at for 200k? Well, if you're Nurgle, not a lot. This is all right. Gorak is big, but more. Grashnak is big, but more. If you've got access to Khorne, Scylla is just amazing. I mean, putting this guy against Zug, not worth it. However, 180k is definitely achievable in League these days. As a star player for a tournament build, probably not going to see Bile Rot a huge amount. Adding that extra big guys can be pretty fun, I suppose, but Dirty Player is going to be quite good as well. If you get sent off, it's not so much the hassle. And when it comes to running Nurgle, you're going to have a little bit of guard as your team develops, so a cheeky bit of Dirty Player mixed in with the fact that guard gives you +1 on fouls can be pretty good. But otherwise, Bile Rot, although he is a star player, I don't think he is an all-star that you're going to see on the pitch very often, which is a shame because they've actually crushed it with this model. So, Bile Rot, the model is awesome. The stats and the rules are fine. You'll take him. I think what might happen is you might pick this model up to paint because it is a very lovely model to paint, and then you just use him as an ogre on your Chaos Pact team, as a bloater on your Nurgle team, or just a Chaos Warrior in your Chaos team. That's the advantage of the star player models. You can get them to the pitch, even if you can't afford them on your team. Anyway, let me know what you think of Bile Rot, and do let me know if I have forgotten any star player models that we're still waiting on the models for. But otherwise, I think we're up to date with Blood Bowl, which is absurd. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Definitely didn't forget what I say. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.